California, it actually looks like spring has arrived eventually. After a bunch of rain last week, we're back in it. Beautiful sunshine. We're in the 70s for the second day in a row. Really can't complain. I'm officially back at the office. I hope you guys love the new background. My wonderful wife came in and surprised me while I was on my travels and cleaned the office up, made it look a little bit better, and gave me a bit of a better background. So if you like it, drop her a comment and give her some love. I think it looks amazing. It feels better. It just looks better. The whole office around me just looks amazing. It's just a better space to be in it. Today, I sort of labeled this video, Is Our Ego Getting in the Way? And it's an interesting topic that I want to get into because my goal for at least this week, or maybe a few more, and maybe I'll scatter it in through the next couple of months, was I shared 7 lessons that I've learned through starting Protea and developing this business over 10 years. And I wanted to focus in on some of those lessons and dig deeper into each one of them. This week, I specifically had the plan to talk about, continuously improving, the importance of getting better. I'm a big believer in 1% better every single day, and I try find ways in my life to improve a bit. And I hope that most people are sort of going in with that mindset. Maybe not the 1% better, but obviously looking for opportunities to be a better person, better at their job, better at a hobby, just looking to improve on a regular basis, because I think it's so important that we understand that the world around us will continuously change. The only thing that is for certain is that change will occur. And I take that to heart and I find little ways. This year, a lot of what I've been trying to improve of is just improve my overall health, be more aware of what I put in my body, and make sure I move a little bit more. From a business standpoint, I've been focusing very heavily on my communication. I'm really good at standing up and talking to people, but sometimes my typing and is not the best, and sometimes I say a lot of things in my head. I think I told people. So I've been focusing a lot on trying to improve my communication. And then as a business leader, I've been trying to read a lot of books about how do I improve my interactions with individuals as the scope of growth in terms of the people we're bringing in is wider. We have people in their mid to late 20s, and we got people in their early to late 50s. That's a big stretch of people. It's extremely generational split. I see that with my clients as well. So how do I learn to interact with people in a way that I connect with them and able to help them? So I'm trying to find all these different ways to improve. Another part of it is, how do I improve this business, right? We've been going for 10 years. Well done. Clapped ourselves on the back, celebrated in March, but now down to business. How do we improve this business for the next 10 years so it can thrive? So what did I do? I speak to peers, but I also go over to social media. LinkedIn, a lot of great advice, a lot of people I really truly respect, and I like to listen and be part of their conversations. But I've also sort of fiddled around in Twitter, X, and I thought, let me go see. I've heard so much great things about tax Twitter, hashtag tax Twitter. And apparently there's a lot of really good advice that you can learn from. I, yeah, I got there and I was hoping that it would be this profound learning opportunity, sharing of advice. And what I realized, that's not true at all. Now, maybe it is in there and I just got to dig a little deeper. But what I found is that if you have a different opinion to the masses on tax Twitter, ugh, be careful. They'll start with, they're going to come for you. You're going to learn some lessons here. And I go, wow, for what is a, you know, conversation generally at the moment about how do we attract new people? How do we keep people in the industry? How do we make this exciting and sexy? It's really worrying how closed-minded we are. And it starts me thinking, like, what is the big issue? Why are we struggling to attract people into the industry? And there will be all sorts of reasons, convoluted ways to qualify. It takes a lot of hours to get into the industry. When you start, your base salary is lower than many industries. You are expected to work really long hours, so work life balance is there. We've got a big shout to return to office, which most people won't want to do. The partner structure doesn't work anymore. Great. Those are all the problems that we know. But yeah, and I go to tax Twitter and some areas of LinkedIn where I spend a bit of time, and we're still doing the same thing. And it's starting to feel a little bit like there's our way or there is no way, and we don't really want to take opinions outside of that, which seems awfully weird. I always thought influencers in the space were about people coming in and sharing their ideas. They could be old ideas refurbished, or they could be fresh ideas. And those ideas come in, and we allow people to have good, positive conversations and learn from it. What I'm starting to feel like is maybe the influences in this accounting space is more about who can talk in the most mainstream way or who can do it in the most interesting, loudest. I'm feeling very confused by the space because I hear people saying, hey, let's not do this anymore, not do that. And people blow up. Well, that thing they're telling us not to do anymore is one of the reasons that we all cite as an issue of getting people into the accounting space. So they are giving a good alternative. They're not saying you have to use alternative, but they're saying this is an alternative that could work. I've seen work. I've used it in my own business. But it seems like because it was too far from our built-in methodologies and the ideas that we have, it's got to be wrong. And there's a lot of examples out there, right? How do we bill? If you don't value bill, your business will fail. Is that really that true? Or is that just the opinion that people want to put out there to be able to sell books, courses, and make sure we all look like clones again? I feel like the ego of many accountants is getting in the way of progress. Now, I understand there's a lot of people doing great stuff. There's some amazing individuals out there with fresh ideas that are really moving the industry in the right direction. But I do feel like there are way too many of us that are too proud to think that we could do things slightly differently and succeed. Diversity is going to be a key ingredient into success. And I'm not talking diversity into genders or races or, backgrounds. I'm talking about the diversity of ideas. And I believe diversity of ideas is one of the most single important factors that could contribute to the re-energization of the accounting industry and how we can figure out ways to improve. New, fresh ideas, people doing things different ways will allow this space to become a little bit more exciting. Allow for more opportunities for people to get into the industry in a space they feel most comfortable with. Yes, there should be the firms that are in office all the time because people want that. Yes, there should be fully remote firms, firms that people live in different places of the country, different continents, and never get to get each other unless they get some sort of annual get together to meet at the same place and have a good time. And yes, there should be hybrid firms, firms that require a certain amount of time in the office for training, social events, coaching, mentoring, that type of stuff. That's who we are. There is a space for all three of them. And we need to stop being so black and white and say, this is the only methodology that could work. I literally run a firm that is hybrid, but I know remote can work because we were forced to do remote for a bunch of years. But we could make it work again. There's ways to work around it. And I also believe that a fully in office firm has its place. It can work. Three totally different ideas, and I can appreciate all of them. One of them I believe is the best for me. It doesn't necessarily I believe that it's the best for everybody. And I will not allow my ego to get in the way of that. If you want to be in office, fantastic. Now, don't talk down to people because they don't want to do that way, or tell people that they're wrong. You can easily say, I understand your point of view. This is what we've seen to be successful. Why don't you share with me some ideas on how you are making that scenario work? Build conversations. Having a conversation with somebody that has a different idea to you might help you reassess your ideas, change your ideas, improve your ideas. Or, surprise, surprise, you can share your thoughts with them and it might adjust their thoughts. I think we've forgotten in society, and it seems to be all over the place, but now I'm starting to see it in the accounting world, that we are allowed to do things differently and have different opinions. We've got into this world of polarizing views, and you're either in my camp or you're not. And if you're not in my camp, you clearly can't be successful. It's absolute garbage, and ego is getting in the way of progress. We need to all drop our egos, understand that every interaction that we have could be an opportunity to learn, and we need to start listening more. You do not need to action every opinion, but you can listen, value, assess, and then make a decision on how you'll use that information. This is the adult, mature way to handle conversations. And we need to stop attacking people because their thoughts, ideas, and processes are different from ours. There is room in the accounting industry to do things differently. And we should be encouraging people to think out of the box and create a practice that works for them and that could lead to bringing more people into the accounting profession. Growth is all about putting your ego behind you and learning, actually paying attention, finding a skill set, an area you want to develop, and actually paying attention. What good would it do for me if I wanted to improve the structures in my firm, but ignore every piece of advice that I have and just say, I'm just going to keep doing it the way I'm doing it? I know best. That seems ridiculous. I should be going out there to get fresh ideas to see how I can incorporate them into my current structure. I don't have to tear up my playbook and start afresh, though at times that might be the outcome. But I do need to be open to other ideas, or else I should stop wasting my time pretending that improvement and, you know, improving in that 1% every day means anything to me. Continuously improving is one of the key lessons that I've learned in the last 10 years. It's a lesson I've known for a very, very long time, but it's become more and more clear to me in the last few years. I encourage my teams to learn, listen, adjust, and improve on a regular basis. And this is a call out to all accountants out there to stop being so polarizing in your opinions. Listen to others, and maybe, just maybe, you'll actually learn something. You do not have to take on every single piece of advice. You do not have to agree with every single opinion out there, but you can be kind and assess what they're saying and decide for yourself in a respectable way, do you want to make an adjustment? There are a multitude of ways to be successful. There are a multitude of ways to run a business. There's a multitude of ways to be an accountant. Let's embrace that. We want to grow, improve, and attract the best talent into the accounting industry. And that is going to take some thought, some innovation, and some acceptance that things can be done differently. Embrace the diversity of ideas in the accounting space, use them wisely, and make them improve. This has clearly been a rant directed at the accounting industry, clearly been a rant directed at tax Twitter. But there is a lesson in it. Setting yourself up for a growth mindset is more than just learning or reading documents. It is being open minded to the possibility of improvement. It has been open minded to the possibility of different ideas. It's been open to the possibility of assessing and deciding what will work best for you and your business. The only way to improve is to be open minded. The only way to improve is to want to improve. I hope that every single person can be more open minded, kinder to each other, and grow and adjust on a daily basis. The world will change around you, and the only way to keep up and be successful is to continue to adapt. Create yourself a growth mindset and be open minded to the possibility of ideas that are different to your own. Be kind. Have a great week. See you next time.